Good morning, dear viewers of Smart 24 TV. My name is Dr. Joseph Tindeba, and we thank God for the new morning, especially this weekend, where we come with the program The Point. And we are blessed and exceedingly honored to be with our dear guests who have honored our invitation, and with a spirit of patriotism to share with you Ugandans outside there in these matters that concerns about us. And it's none other than our topic, which is referring to the role of institutions of higher learning, higher learning institutions in job creation. We also look at labor productivity and economic stability. In all this, dear viewers, we deliberately come up with this topic because for the side of our guest, as I welcome him, Major Retired Awik Pora, the Direct External Affairs NRM Secretariat. He does a good work at the Secretariat. We appreciate you, sir. And we are concerned by you coming over here, that you are so much relevant to our discussion, especially remembering that it has been a heartbeat of the NRM government to create jobs, especially for the youth, being one of the challenge the country faces, and also with a number of initiatives, policy initiatives on the side of the NRM government that has tried and endeavored to advocate for and advance such kind of policy directions. And as well, it's a pleasure to have you, Dr. Alice Wabule, the Dean Faculty of Socio-Economic Sciences at Cavendish University. It's also a pleasure to have you, and please kindly greet the viewers.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers.
Yes, Major Retired, please. It's a pleasure to have you. Kindly greet the viewers.
Good morning, viewers. Nice to be with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Coming back to you, Dr. Alice Wabule, there is also very concerned by our station here. We do make economic analysis of such a kind of trends, which especially are trending and major. They are at the top key priorities that developing countries are intending to give solutions. The unemployment, issues of corruption, but today we are not going into that. We are dealing with unemployment, and we are not coming with the side of the negative unemployment. No, we are saying job creation. It is the responsibility of every Ugandan outside there to know you must first of all create for yourself a job. I want to first bring it in that narrative, because a population that is not working becomes a burden to the state. And we are saying there is a number of approaches that are pertinent for all of us, the citizens outside there, because they are also doing a great work. The parents, it's just recent, this week when we were receiving our children back from school. Oh, that's also the initiative of a parent. And also there's an initiative of citizens, everyone who must make sure that they work. Whether formal jobs, whether informal jobs, all that is, we are referring it to the category of job creation. Not because you first get a degree and then we say now you are ready to go to get a job. But we go through this discussion, you have a package for us, I believe so. And this is to enable us have the economic stability. While bring this context, where production, the demand and the supply is not always balancing, that becomes an economic instability. The demand of goods and services, the services here we are looking at education, but the supply turning into our labor to production. Countries like China, Major Awik Pora, you've traveled, you are a witness of this. It is a heavily populated country, and they still, encourage Chinese to produce as much as possible. But they turn their population into a production, I say, factory. And they end up even exporting. Those whom are exporting, who are coming into our country, they are doing work. They are not like us, who are sending our young girls and our young boys to these Asian Arab countries, as we are aware of this. Having said that, it's once again a pleasure to welcome you, and I will start from the extreme end with my elder brother, Mr. David Pora, to give us the narrative, the informative kind of direction that shows that our country, in this way, we are on a track of job creation, and identify maybe what there might be gaps, because I cannot say that NRM is an angel, it has created all jobs. We have a population of around 65 youth who are unemployed, and we know in the agricultural sector contains employment opportunities at 75%. But we are again aware that it is through education that we are able to get jobs and other informal jobs. Sir, it's a pleasure to welcome you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I would like to approach this by looking at the topic not by, for now, not by NRM-led job creation approach.
Yes, sir.
But I would really like to look at the topic maybe by bullet points, but with a view to dissecting the topic, because it's really a topic that impacts so much in our life. Now, job creation, I will comment in relation to education. I don't know whether we are defining here our education to mean specifically the classroom education that you pass exams and you are awarded certificates from the lower to the top. But I hope we also put in place education that all of us remember, we know that our mother and fathers are the first teachers, and that is also education. So we're talking about formal and informal education. But if we are now talking of education and you talk of higher learning or higher institution, I think we all know what it is, and the law actually provides for education and Education Act, and we have higher education provision, including the ones which certifies the equivalent of whichever qualification you get from abroad. So we know what higher education means. I think ordinarily we are talking above senior 6. Above senior 6 is what we mean by higher education. Now,
Yes, sir.
I have a problem with our education system, the formal education vis-a-vis job creation. I still believe that, notwithstanding the usual accusation that our doctors, our engineers can't manufacture this, I'm not really going into that. Me, I'm into critical thinking, such that even if you don't have, even if you have education that is not into direct manufacturing, like social science, do we have education that produces critical thinkers? For example, do we have education which produces people who can explain why something is happening the way it is, or they will seek the intervention of a witch doctor or a pastor, and somebody has a master's degree? I recently had a patient,
Yes, sir.
who was behaving like mentally. All my educated friends were telling me to take the patient to a pastor. And then I remember I said, to a pastor? For goodness sake. I remember Karl Marx used, actually, if you read most of Karl Marx literature.
You're a Christian?
Yes.
Yes.
Karl Marx literature, Karl Marx calls priestcraft and witchcraft. According to Karl Marx, they are just crafts, meaning they are just creativity. There's no science in it. You know the difference between arts and sciences. Science works on laws, arts works on creativity.
Okay. So
Karl Marx believed that these two are actually sets of creative people, and that's why he called it priestcraft and witchcraft. So they are that creative people. So now my patient was showing a sign of mental illness. They said, take to a pastor. I said, no. I was 500 kilometers from Kampala. Good enough, a helicopter came and picked this patient. Brought the patient. We tested a scan. The patient was still, there was no result. I said, go to a pastor, we have told you. We went to MRI. There was nothing. We told you are killing this person.
You went to the pastor.
You take to a pastor.
Yes.
I refused. we went to the ECG, I think, in Zambia Hospital. The ECG found that there was electric